Okay, hello friends, this is Yusuf here. Welcome to a new video. So in this video, I would like to share a complete overview about what is this web development is all about, and how does this website works, okay, and how do we create our own simple web page and deploy that into a cloud so that you can share your website with all your friends, okay. So the objective of this video is to give an overall idea about the web technology, okay, and we'll see what is HTML, CSS, JavaScript at the basic level, and once we go through that, then we have a series of videos lined up for the future, okay. So to get started, so if you go to any website and any tutorial, so normally they will refer it as a client server model, okay. Any web page or web application works based on a HTTP protocol, which is basically the internet. So often they will say that we will send a request from a client, then the client can be a browser or a laptop or a mobile, and it will go to a web server, and the web server will respond with the data, and the data will be rendered on the client side, okay. But what does it actually look like in the code, okay. So that's what we're going to see today. So before we go on to see how do we deliver the content via the internet, first we'll start building our small website, okay. So for that, so to build a website, there are three major things, I mean the very basic things. So HTML, CSS and JavaScript, okay. So let's go one by one. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language, okay. So most of you are aware. So that is a basic boilerplate of your website. So let's start with that. Basically it will be having it's a markup language, right? So like what we say, XML is the extendable markup language. So markup language means it comes with the tags, okay, like opening tag and closing tag. So all the HTML will start with HTML and closing tag with the /HTML, okay. And after that, the important tag is head tag, okay, and then we will have a body tag, okay. So body tag is the one we will have all the contents, okay. So here as of now I'm going to just say hello, okay, and here in the head tag I'm going to have a tag called title, say web page. So I'm going to save this file in my desktop, okay, so called demo.html, okay. And then if you right click, there is option to open in browser, okay, or you can just open the double click it will open that in the browser because of the .html extension. So when you open that in browser, we just see a text hello, okay, nothing big, nothing fancy, but what is important in HTML is to learn the semantic tags, okay. So what are all the tags can be used to create your base boilerplate of it. Say for example, if you want to have this under a h1 tag, it is normally referred as a heading tag, then obviously the content will be changed based on the tag, okay. So we have list of tags available so that you can go through it, or we will go through it in future videos, but this video you can understand this HTML will be used to create your content, okay, just the content. So just to have more content, let me have one paragraph tag. So this is a para, okay, and if you save and refresh, you will have the content. So that's about HTML, okay. So then let's go to CSS, okay. CSS stands for cascading style sheet, okay. So its main objective is to style your web page, okay. Styling includes coloring and alignment and so on. So just to give an example, I want to see this hello in blue color, okay. So how do we do that? So HTML cannot do that, okay. We need to have CSS for that. So for CSS, it's a key value pair. So there are three types of in which the CSS can be applied into the web page, like inline, internal and external, okay. So we'll see one by one. So inline is nothing but where we want to have the style on the same tag we can apply it. So say for example, here in h1 we need to apply attribute called style, okay, is equal to, so here basically I will say that color equal to blue, okay, and then if you save and refresh, we will see a blue color. But it is not a recommended way at all, because it's like it is only for that particular style, and it's not good at all, okay. So we will remove this one, okay. So we are going to achieve the same using something called inline styling, okay, which means in the header section we'll have a style tag, okay. So here it comes automatically, okay. inside this style tag we can apply all the styles. So say for example I am saying that h1 I want to style, and the syntax is something like this. So h1, then there will be a open brace and close brace, curly brace, then I'll say color, okay, equal to blue. So if you save, you will have the same effect. So if you change it to green, say for example I have a green color. So this is the method of applying style called inline style, okay, and external is nothing but you copy, I mean you have all the styling into a separate file, and then you will have the file name in this particular link tag. Okay, that's a thing called a link tag. Okay, here you can put the whatever the style name, okay, style.css, say for example, then you will put all your styles into this style.css, then it will be applied. But for this simple course, let's stick with the inline style, okay, because that is enough for us. Fine. Now the problem with this one, right, the h1 tag is, so if you have another h1 tag and I say that this is a blue color, okay, if you save, to come here, we see both are green because we are targeting all the h1 and applying it as a green color, okay, but I don't want it, say for example, okay. Then there comes a concept of class, okay. So a class is nothing but a collection of style attribute, and we can apply the class name into tags. So just to give an example, the syntax is it should start with a dot, then class name. So I'm going to say green, okay, any name you can give, okay, green. So if this class green, then if you want to apply, then I can apply to the respective tag with the attribute class, okay, class green. Then what will happen while rendering, it will check, okay, this tag is applied with the green class, let's check in the style attribute, do we have a green, or precisely do we have a dot green attribute, then it will apply all the styles into this one, okay, which means I can have another called blue, and then I'll say color equals to blue. Here I can say class equal to blue. So if you save and then refresh, we see a green and blue, okay. And another good thing is we can apply more than one classes to the same tag, which means I can say something like center and text align center. So basically you need to basically understand what are the available styles, you can use it, okay. So if you want to make it center, you should know it should be a text align property, okay, that is something we need to do. Fine. So now this center I can apply wherever I want. So say for example I want to apply into this one class center, it's possible, and I can also apply it maybe here, okay, with the space center. If you save and see, we see this center and this is also center, okay. So the point here is the class, more than one class can be applied to the same attribute, okay, so that's the point. And then one final thing about CSS is selection based on ID, okay. So I can have something like another paragraph tag, I can have an ID equals to para2, this is para2. So if you want to style this one, we have to start the class with hash and then para2, then it means we are pointing ID, not the class, okay. So here I would say something like what, font size 30 pixel, and then save, we should see a bigger thing, okay. One more thing is if you use para2 here, I cannot use the same para2 as a ID for any other thing, okay. ID should be common across all your web page. Only class you can apply more than once, okay, like how we have a green here, and if you want you can apply a green here, not a big deal. Fine. So now we just learned what is HTML, what is CSS, okay. So HTML is your content, CSS is actually the way you style your content. The third thing is JavaScript. So JavaScript can be used in both client side and server side, okay. Now we are talking about client side, okay. So client side JavaScript are used to deliver some dynamic content, and also to manipulate the DOM in the real time, okay. So JavaScript can do changes dynamically to your web page based on some events, say for example, okay. So here so how do we embed JavaScript into our web page, okay. That's basically inside the body tag, again there is a tag called script, okay. So inside the script, whatever you execute, that is actually your JavaScript for the web page. Obviously you can have all your JavaScript into a separate file, and then you can link that file into this web page. Still that works. Okay, again, for a simplicity, we'll have in the same file. So here I'm going to start with a small alert. I'll say hi. Okay, and let's see what's going to happen. So here if you open refresh, so we get a hi first and then we see the data. Okay, which means this particular section is getting executing. Okay, now to demonstrate the feature of JavaScript, I'm going to do something like this. Okay, I'm going to create a button, okay, called click to change para color. Okay, and then here I don't want this. Okay, save. See, if you say, we get this particular. Okay, the idea is if I click this button, this paragraph color should change. Okay, so we cannot do that with HTML or CSS. Okay, we have to do with JavaScript. Okay, so we know that if you want to change the color, we need to apply some style, but if you want the click to do that, then the JavaScript should handle this click event and then you should apply the style. That is the objective. So how do we do that? Let's create a function here. So function change color. Okay, so here I want to grab this para 2. Okay, so document dot get element by id para 2. Okay, now I got this para 2, then dot style dot color. So this syntax you need to learn, equals to maybe I say red. Okay, now I want this function to execute, then only the change will happen, right? So for that, in this button I want to have something like on click, I will say change color. Okay, with the brackets. Save. Now I will refresh and click, then you see the red color. So this is the basics of HTML, JavaScript and CSS from the client side I want to cover. Okay, but the next part is going to be whatever we have done till now is on top of the file. Okay, as you can see in the browser, we are opening the file and we are seeing everything. But okay, but in internet it is not going to happen like that. In the actual website, you are requesting something and the web server is responding. Okay, so where is the web server is all about? Okay, so that is the point here. Now we are going to do that. Okay, we are going to deliver the same content via web server. Okay, for that we are going to do it in two ways. Okay, one is Apache Web Server. Okay, Apache Web Server is one of the very common and famous one, and if you are using Windows, you can install Apache Web Server, and then yeah, you can make that web server to respond to the request. Now in Mac it's already there. Okay, so all what I need to do is actually yeah, sudo apache ctl start. So if I start, right, it's already loaded, which means if I go to my local host port 80. Okay, 80 is a default port of HTTP. Okay, and I see some text. Okay, so where does the text comes from? So based on Apache documentation, the default file will be served from the path this one. Okay, so it's in Mac. Okay, it may differ for your Windows. Okay, if I go and then see the data, we have like index HTML. Okay, so let me open this in my Visual Studio Code to see the data. Okay. Okay, fine. So here I can see there is a file, it works, and I think the same thing came with original. I don't know what, but the point is now the web server is running and we are no more opening the file in the browser. Okay, we are requesting the server and the web server, and web server is delivering us the data. So say for example, if I want to deliver whatever we have developed via the HTTP, Apache Web Server, then what I need to do, this document folder is actually the sorry. So what we have just seen here, the documents folder is actually the public folder of Apache. Okay, so whatever the file we put into this folder, that can be accessed via the browser. Okay, so let me nano demo dot sudo nano demo dot html. Okay, I just created a dummy file, and here I'm having this file here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open our demo.html, copy and put into here, okay, and then save. So let's try a sudo. So now it is done, right? So in the browser, if I go to localhost and /demo.html, so we are able to see the data. So this is the basic concept of web server, okay. So what we have seen here, the client server model. Now we have requested something, but what we have requested is went to a web server, in this case Apache Web Server, and it is returned the data and it is being displayed here, okay. I can show you the difference here and here. It is actually file location, okay. If you go to inspect, okay, and go to network tab, and if you refresh, so here you can see, if you click, it's actually requesting the URL based on the file location, okay, not the HTTP location, okay. So here if you see the inspect and the same network tab and if you refresh, so what we see here is actually it is requesting the HTTP with the local host, which is our my PC, with the demo.html, and the web server is responding the data and it is showing it, okay. So this is one way of doing it, okay. I thought of explaining the other way also, using Express web server, but I think it's getting too long, so I'm going to cut it short. So now you understand this, right? The third step is we want to deploy that into one public cloud, okay. So for that I have choose Netlify. It's a easier way to deploy things, okay. So this particular service is free, and they have I mean some basic limit of number of websites, I think 5 websites, okay. So you can deliver your content, just upload it as a folder, and then you can access directly using the Netlify's URL, okay. So which means when you open that URL, a web server from Netlify server is going to respond to you with the data over the internet, okay. Let's see that in action. So for that, what we're going to do is very simple. So we have this demo.html already, so I'm just going to create a folder. Sorry. I don't know why it's creating there, anyway. Okay, so I'll say demo HTML, and we have this. Where did I save this? Anyway, let me save it again. Okay, I'm going to save this into, but the problem is, okay, we need to save it as index.html, okay. Index.html is actually the basic file location when we go for the root of the URL, okay. Anyway, so now we have this one. So the next thing what we're going to do, we go to Netlify, and here you can see under the sites, so want to deploy a new site, just drag and drop, okay. So I'm going to drag and drop this folder here, okay. I hope I did it. Okay, so within a second what we see is we see one URL, right, and then if I click that, and we are seeing our web page. So here now what's happening, the content is not in our PC, it is in Netlify's server, and using this URL we are requesting the data and it is responding, so we are seeing it, okay, and also you can see it is working. So this is the basic which I want to cover in this video, okay. So to make a website run, we need a server, basically a web server, that is listening for our input, and based on the input it delivers the content. So if you go much deeper into that, yeah, we can say what kind of other web servers we can build, because now we have just seen about Apache Web Server with the static content delivery, right. But more than that, we can create our own web server using Node.js, like Express.js, okay, and then deliver the data accordingly, and we can build our own web application, okay, not just delivering some content, we can build a web application. So yeah, so those things hopefully we will be seeing in our upcoming videos. I will start with some basics of HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and we'll go further into like Node.js, React, and all those things. Okay, I hope this will help you in some way to gain some knowledge, and also it will help you in your future projects. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you find it useful. In this case, you can share it with your friends as usual. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Record